Welcome to episode 15. It's episode 15.
15, is it? We're just going yeah. Alright. So it's 15, right? That was with dry as well, wasn't it? That was fucking very short. Yeah. Okay. Oh. You said it was the 12th season, was it?
11 season.
11 season, 5th, yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Well, lads, welcome back to the Paddy and Darragh show, alright? Okay.
Talking over each other. 3, 2, 1.
Well, lads,
welcome to episode
15
of the Paddy
and Darragh
show.
Well, lads, listen, we did something different last week. Something different. Myself and Darragh, obviously, we had our summer special there last week, right? We had no guest. Well, we had a few very special guests, right? But we had no main guest, exactly right. Well, listen, lads, we're back to our standard format this week, and let me tell you, lads, we have an absolute stormer episode.
We always have a stormer. We always have a stormer. Lads, this week's special guest, he is born in Dublin and he was raised in Meath, but he's known nationwide as an upcoming superstar.
That's exactly it, lads. Reaching fame from a little show that you may have heard of called The X Factor.
I'm not sure if you know it now.
Back in 2014, it was the 11th season. He came 5th with a boy band called Stereo Kicks.
That's right, Stereo Kicks. And he's just released a brand new hit single called Fix, which features in the music video the one and only Miriam Mullins and her boyfriend Tian, who we had on the show 2 weeks ago.
Now that's Chris's second single, of course. Kiss and Callie being his first one, which climbed to the top 10 of the iTunes charts just 12 hours after his release.
That's it, guys. Welcome to the Paddy and Darragh show for episode 15, Mr.
Chris Leonard. Here he is.
Roll the title sequence. It's the Darragh and Paddy show.
What's it called?
The Paddy and Darragh show.
Wait, pretty sure we said
the Darragh and Paddy show.
Definitely.
The Paddy and Darragh show. Well, welcome to the Paddy and Darragh show. Chris, how are you getting on?
What's the story, lads? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure, man. Thanks for coming on. No, it's super, honestly. It's great. Yeah, like that. We had Miriam on, obviously, a few weeks back. And Miriam actually starred in Chris's brand new music video for his new single. His new single.
Not signal.
His new single called Fix. And obviously that's how we heard about Chris. So we did a bit of research and we liked what we heard.
We liked what we heard. Sound.
Reached out and said, Chris, why don't you come on the show?
And not only has Chris come on the show, but he's also on his Hollybops at the moment. So that's how devout he is to the Paddy and Darragh show. So we really appreciate you coming on.
Holidays. Fair play.
Anytime, it's a pleasure. I hope you've been putting those guitars to use on the back wall there as well, by the way.
I know you'd be worried. We're very strategic as well, so the more order we put them in there, make sure they're seen now for Chris now, obviously being a musician. For those of you who don't know, obviously Chris is a singer-songwriter, very talented. So yeah, we thought you might respect now the backdrop we have going on. So obviously Chris, I suppose let's go back to the beginning of your musical journey, right? I mean obviously, let's go to the start.
Fido.
Yeah, I mean obviously, X Factor was, I suppose, really where the whole thing kicked off for you. So would you mind, I suppose, just telling us all about your X Factor journey?
Yeah. So basically, so kind of started a little bit before X Factor. So I grew up in music, and my father was a musician. He was an Irish balladeer, and I grew up playing music with him and being around musicians. So it was something that was, always a part of my life and a part of my upbringing. And then at 16, I decided to quit school. Disclaimer, it's not for everybody. Okay, listen to your parents. But yeah, I decided to quit school. I packed a bag full of clothes and took my guitars and just hit the road. And I started playing gigs, and I started to cut my teeth that way in the music industry, and started to do it the hard way through the graft, which was vital for me. Great learning experience. And then about 2 years after, I kind of hit the road and left school and everything, X Factor came around then. And I had originally auditioned as a solo artist, and went through the various stages, got to the room audition with the judges, and I got 4 yeses there. And then moved on to my arena audition, which was in Wembley, which was unbelievable. Like, it's one of those venues that everyone's like, play Wembley, you're doing good. So even though it was an audition, for me that was like a sold out show at the Wembley.
Of course.
So it was sick. And I just remember from my first audition, so in X Factor for me, I had the room audition first and then Wembley Stadium. And I remember when I done my audition in the room, Simon turned around and said to me, in the next audition, come back and show us who you really are and what you really are as an artist. And I was like, perfect. So I was sat for ages trying to pick a song for my audition. I was like, what am I going to sing? What am I going to sing? And I hadn't a clue. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to write a song for it. And it was a big risk because you're writing a song. You don't know if people like the song or not. So I was like, but I was like, look, if I'm ever going to roll the dice on something, I better roll it now, you know? So I wrote my song and I went out and performed it at Wembley and got 4 yeses. The arena were on their feet for me, which
Brilliant.
blew me away. I couldn't believe it. And I'll be honest, I made like 1 or 2 little mistakes on the guitar when I was playing, just nerve. Just nerve.
That's allowed.
Come on, I think we'll forgive you, like.
And I remember Cheryl being like, yeah, you made a couple of mistakes in your guitar playing there. And Simon came in and saved me straight away. He was like, we're not judging him on his guitar playing, we're judging him on his voice and everything with it. And I was like, go on, Simon.
Yeah, go on.
So, I got 4 yeses then at Wembley and then into boot camp. And that's where everything really got flipped on its head. So as I said, I auditioned as a solo artist. And then in boot camp, I was in the sing-off challenges and so on. And in boot camp then Simon Cowell and the rest of the judges picked me and 7 other lads to form what was then known as Stereo Kicks. And we were all put into the band. And then we made it through boot camp. We sang Run by Coldplay, which was incredible. Again, all of Wembley on their feet, a feeling and an experience that you never, ever forget.
Wow.
Insane, and something I'll take to my grave. And then, made it past boot camp. We made it to judges' houses then, which was in Bermuda. And went through the stages there with Louis as a mentor. And got 4 yeses there. Or not 4 yeses, sorry. Not at that stage, but we got through to the live. And we nearly died on the way back home from Bermuda. Because we were nearly in a plane crash. Yeah.
Stop it. No way, really?
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke about the Bermuda Triangle, but literally, what happened?
Yeah, fact. So we were flying over the Bermuda Triangle, lads. I can't make this up. But we were flying over, and whatever it was, pilot people will probably understand this. I'm just going by what I was told. So we hit like a hot patch of air within that area. And whatever way the patch of air affected the engines cut and the plane just nosedive. I was asleep at the time and I woke up to one of the lads that was next to me who was like in X Factor at the time. His name's Charlie. I woke up to him screaming and being like, ah! And I was like, what are you screaming for? He was like, the plane's going down. I was like, what? And I looked out the window. It was dark. I couldn't see anything, but I could see all the oxygen masks and everything had dropped. And I'm one of these people, like, in situations like that or any awkward situation, like funerals and stuff, I'm terrible. I either laugh or cry, and I don't know what to do. And I just start breaking myself laughing, like I couldn't stop. And he was like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "I don't know." But the pilots were class, and they got the plane back and the engines running, and we swooped back up. So me, Louis Walsh, Dermot O'Leary all nearly died together.
That's
Oh my god, that's crazy.
It's a real exclusive though, isn't it? Like you wouldn't see that on the show now. That's why we do these things.
You hear that Paddy and Darragh show first.
There you go, yeah.
Wow, that's usually my biggest fear. So you've just reignited my fear of flying. So thanks.
I won't be going
It's alright,
to
just talk about the Bermuda, bro. You'll be fine.
Yeah, wow, God, that's crazy, man. So obviously you were saying you auditioned, you were as a solo artist, you were put into this not only like boy band, but there was like 7 of you. So 7 male artists.
8 overall, I think, was it? Like
8, was it 8?
Yeah, it was 8 of us. 8 of us. So it was me and
8
7 others.
artists,
Yeah.
8 different backgrounds, probably 8 different kind of styles. Was there any kind of conflicts on what ways were kind of singing your music, or was it very much kind of with the help of your mentor? They were kind of the ones saying, well, look, I think we'll do it like this, or...
Yeah, I mean, there was conflict. Like, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't. You know what I mean? Like 7 lads on top of each other. Well, 8 lads, 7 of them on top of me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I'd be lying if I said you know, there wasn't any sort of conflict at times, because there's creative differences there where you think something works better, they might think opposite, and obviously you're not going to agree all the time, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that is the music industry, that is music as a whole. You're not always going to agree, and there are going to be creative differences. It just comes down to how you are as a person and how professional you are in that situation to whether it becomes a big thing or not. And for me, like, I was fine. Like, if you notice on the show, like, I actually didn't sing all that much, which I'm actually really, really happy for now, because everyone knows me as like Chris from Stereo Kicks and so on, but nobody actually knows what to expect from me. So I don't have, oh, well, this is where he's at, or this is what we should be expecting from him. There's no limits for me. I can, and it's my time to show people my original music and everything, like who I am and what I'm capable of doing, which for me is cool. Like, that's sick for me.
For sure. And look, you made it to the finals, which is a huge achievement. So fair play to you. I guess recently there's kind of been a few contestants coming out, and they were saying there was a lot of pressure maybe on them, and they kind of had a negative experience maybe in the production, and they kind of had conflicts and stuff. What was your experience of like preparing for the finals, semi-finals? Like, was it? I'd say it was fairly intense. Was it?
Yeah, it's a very intense thing. I'm trying to explain this to somebody who hasn't been there in that situation before. The best way you can kind of explain it, that will come anyway close, is like, you're put on top of the world straight away. Like, you are the biggest thing out there, and that's all because of like that experience, that bubble that you're in. But it really, how you cope with that and how you handle it, again, really comes down to who you are as a person, the people you have around you, and making sure you've got, you know, a good, honest idea of the situation you're in as well. Because the truth of the matter is, you're just another contestant on another year. And that's not being horrible, that's just the fact of the situation. So even though you're on the show, when you get to those late stages, like, the work doesn't stop there. You've got to continue to keep going and have a positive attitude. Stop for every person to take a photo. Do all of these things and really, really continue to graft and work and just not lose the run of yourself. On the show, I never really had any clashes or anything like that. Personally, that's just my experience. I think the only thing that ever upset me was that they shaved my head. And as you can see, I'm not a fan of haircuts.
I'm going to say, we're fine at the hair there, absolutely.
I have to say, Chris, I'm
really,
loving the hair.
Really impressive.
That is an impressive amount of volume. Like, when my hair is long, like, it has impressive volume, but this is a new level.
Because we do obviously, you know, during like lockdown, some of the lads were like, oh, I'm going to grow it out, I'm going to see how it looks. But that really is, I have to say, 10 out of 10 now. So Brian, there's obviously, you were talking about your experience on the show, going through the different stages and things like that. How would you kind of describe, I suppose, coming from such an intense atmosphere, like the biggest show literally on the planet being X Factor, kind of coming straight from that? Was it like an instant fame kind of thing, or was it almost like a drop, because obviously you're in the limelight performing live every Saturday night, and then all of a sudden the show is over to prepare for next year? So how coming from the show's over now, and you're just kind of right Stereo Kicks, where does it go from there? Like, how do you describe all that?
It's kind of a mixture of both, if I'm being honest, because once the show ends, you're still in the limelight, because you've been on one of the biggest TV shows in the world for set amount of weeks, you know what I mean? So it doesn't just die down there. Like, I remember when I came home in my hometown of Believer, it was insane, and I'm so humbled and grateful for everyone back home for the support. I came home, there was posters of me everywhere. I'm not even going to hide it, lads. I had a little cry to myself when I got home, because I was so appreciative of how everyone got behind me. And then when I left my hometown, so obviously everyone in my hometown would have been aware of it and would have been aware of me throughout the years playing music. And then it's when you leave your hometown, you go into the likes of Dublin and everything, and you're walking around and you get people stopping you for photos, or you're gone shopping to get a new shirt for something or something like that, and you see them and you're like, oh, that's it, and like you notice that. So the popularity side of things that X Factor brings, that doesn't just disappear by any means, and it's also a real low at the same time.
Yeah.
Because once you're on the show, it's all that crack. It's, you're up there, you're doing the show, everything. But once the show is finished, the show is finished. You know what I mean? There's no
balls in your court now.
There's no, preparing you for what happens after the show.
Yeah.
And it's from being like your schedule being like jammed out the door to you being on the TV every week, it drops. And I'm going to be completely honest, it's a really tough one to comprehend. Yeah. And I went through a couple of low periods with it. I'm not going to hold away. But I learned a lot from it, because the X Factor went, everything was up here, and then again another test of the year, and it kind of drops, and you're just kind of in this place of like, what happens next? And then eventually, the band sort of split up, and things went quiet, and it was the best learning experience I ever had in my life, and I was prepared for it, because I remember being in my dressing room and I was chatting to Marvin from JLS at the time. And he was like, be prepared for this. This is going to happen. Like, this will all be great and this will be fantastic. But after the show ends, there is a drop, and you need to be prepared for it. And me having that chat with him prepared me for that. So I was able to take it a lot better. And it was the best learning experience I ever had, because I was at the top at that time. And it's not the top, but it makes you feel that way. You know what I mean?
And you go from like Wembley, like one of the biggest stages in the world, and like it's set up at X Factor, and then maybe like a few months later you're going back to your local pubs where you used to play, and it's kind of, I'd say it's just a bit of a culture shock, like, oh, you're like, wow, like I've gone from this to this, but it's still, like you said, such an important learning curve all the same. And I guess it kind of, it would have given you a bit of a taste, so like, do you know what I mean, it was
fantastic, because like you said, you go from that and you're going back to playing local gigs and everything, but it was the best learning experience for me. And the reason being was, I'm not going to get a punch harder than that. Like, I am not going to get a knock that is harder than that, from having like everything that you've ever worked for literally at your fingertips, and then like kind of taken away. And it's kind of starting from the ground up then, but it helped me build character, and it hardened me up and toughened me up, and things don't affect me as much. I don't get upset about things as much, or I don't overthink things. I just continue to keep my head down and work. And that in itself, along with the whole X Factor experience, was invaluable. And I hope that you can understand that, and it's kind of take from what I'm explaining there, like how it is such a valuable thing,
Yeah, and obviously, like I said there, like like the band that you were in, Stereo Kicks, like you kind of went your separate ways after. When the show kind of ended, like, was there kind of a feeling that, like, okay, obviously we all entered the show as solo artists, we went through this journey as a group, but we'll see how we get on as a group, but solo artists is really what we want? Or was there a sense of, right, let's really try and make this work as a group? Like, what was the kind of dynamic there with the lads after the show, like?
Yeah, like, I'll be honest, when I went into X Factor, I did not expect it to go the way it went at all. Like, my whole thing of X Factor, it's the biggest platform in the world, and I was going to use that to the best of my advantage. The biggest hope and aspiration I had for it was to get to the judges, make it past the room audition, make it past the arena, into boot camp, and if it goes further from there, great. But my whole thing about it was to just get seen and start to build that publicity and grab a fan base and let people see who I was and who my music was. And I had expected the worst, you know what I mean? I didn't expect to get any further. And my whole thing was, I'm going to grab that opportunity, grab that exposure, and run with it and build off of that. And it just spiraled. And I was like, I was like, this is insane. And I took everything as it came, and I just enjoyed every moment of it. And then when the band was kind of coming to that stage, like we did try to keep it together 100%. And something that probably a lot of people don't know is that like I had actually myself, before the band had fully split up, I had actually decided to leave. I was actually gonna leave myself, because the band and everything, I just didn't feel it was right for me. And it would have been selfish for me to stay there. You know what I mean? Especially if I wasn't feeling it. Because I had always wanted to create my own style of music, and I always wanted to do my own thing. So I had decided I was going to leave, and it just so happens that the band, we didn't get the record deal with Simon at the end, and then the band sort of dispersed, and we all went our separate ways and done our own thing. And to be honest, some things don't work out and some things last. And personally, I think it was for the better, because I'm a lot happier now in the music that I'm doing. But it was an experience that I cherish so much, and I'm extremely grateful to Simon and everybody involved for giving me that, because I got to do things that I would never have got to do before. Like I got to play with Queen, I got to meet so many cool people. So it's something I'll be grateful for forever, you know.
That is insane. Sure. Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question, because obviously, like you were saying there, like as a solo artist, like I mean, it surely is near impossible to kind of show that level of individuality when you're in a group with 7 other lads. I mean, so I suppose in that respect, it does make sense, the decision to kind of go solo. So I suppose, like, I was going to ask what kind of, you said there, you think of Queen. I was reading there something about like playing at Niall Horan's birthday. So I was going to ask us about what your biggest I suppose opportunities that you kind of got after show as a solo artist. What's your favorite things that came from it?
As a solo artist, believe it or not, I had actually done Niall's birthday before X Factor.
Oh, right.
Oh wow. Yeah, I had actually done that before X Factor, and that was class. That was great crack. And Niall is a fantastic lad. He is such a genuine person, and is extremely supportive of anybody from Ireland. In particular, who was trying to do something for themselves, and he's a credit to himself and his family in Mullingar. Can never take that away from him. He's a top lad. I'll be honest, I got to tour, and that's the biggest thing. Like I got to tour the UK and Ireland. I play festivals in Holland now. I do things like that. So I got so much from it. Like I've got to do so many cool things, play so many fantastic shows. I remember there was like, I put a picture up of it ages back now, well before COVID, but I was doing a headline show in Glasgow, and it was in the Academy over there, and Charlie Puth was playing the same night, and like I looked up and I could see Charlie Puth's name and my name on the top of the open, and I was like, that is unbelievable. I was like, what? And like I had to take a picture. I was like, that's insane. So many things. It was so hard to put a kind of pinpoint on particular.
And come here, after X Factor, did you find that the DMs were hopping a bit more than usual? You know, people asking you out on dates and stuff.
To be honest, lads, I've being good with girls is something I have never been good at. It's not something I am, but I managed to get a little bit better, and I've recently got engaged, which is
congratulations.
An awful lot. Thank you very much. I recently got engaged, and I've never been happier, if I'm being honest. It's fantastic. She supports me in everything that I do. She's there by my side every day with my music, and I'm extremely grateful to have somebody like that in my life. I'm really lucky.
Don't be sucking up to her, Chris. For God's sake. I'm only joking. No, that's lovely, man. That is really nice. Look, I think we might just do a little something with you, just for the listeners and the viewers to get to know you a little better. So this is one that myself and Paddy like to call Lightning Round. And that's it. Terrible sound effects.
They're brutal.
We have to do them ourselves. We do.
Ready now.
Very simple. We're going to shoot you with some just one answer questions or this or that questions, and we'll see how we get on. Does that sound good?
Sweet. I'm ready, lads.
Deadly. Let's do it. Paddy, do you want to set us off?
All right, I'll kick us off. So, first question for you, Chris, is One Direction or Ed Sheeran?
Oh, lads, that is disgusting. Oh, I'm gonna go One Direction.
That's
I love
just
Ed.
Niall's birthday.
Yeah, I had
No,
that
you know what? I love Ed Sheeran. He's sick, but the thing is, with One Direction, you get the mix of both worlds because Ed Sheeran has wrote songs for One Direction, so you're pitching them at the same time.
Okay, good answer. Good way to back it up. Yeah.
Okay, tattoos or piercings?
Tattoos.
Nice.
Fair enough. Cheryl Cole or Nicole Scherzinger?
Nicole Scherzinger.
Acoustic guitar or electric guitar?
Acoustic.
Folk or pop music?
Ooh. I'm gonna go. Pop. I'll go pop.
Jeans or tracksuit bottoms?
Jeans.
Denim or leather jacket?
Leather jacket.
Favorite X Factor judge?
Simon.
Boy bands or solo artists?
Solo artists.
Biggest musical inspiration?
Oh, lads. God, that is so tough. There's loads. I'm just gonna go for the first one that comes to my head. Probably Shane McGowan, but loads.
Very good.
Very good. My next one now is just music of the 80s or music of today?
80s.
And my last one is Bob Geldof or Phil Lynott?
Phil Lynott.
I thought
100%.
you might.
I'm seeing some similarities. I don't know if it's just me now.
Possibly.
Potential looks.
They were good, man. They were good. Good stuff. Yeah, I think probably the quickest one you answered there was probably the tattoos or piercings. You're straight in right down. I see there you've a bit of ink there. You've a bit of stuff. You've what's going on.
I'm a bit of a doodling pad at this stage, lads. Yeah, I've got a couple of them alright for sure.
Looks class. Is there one in particular now that would be your favourite one, or just as always the collection?
Probably the sleeve that I have here. Basically,
does that count as one tattoo? The sleeve.
yeah, it's all one together at this stage, lads. Basically, I'm huge into like our Irish heritage or Irish culture, and it's something that's extremely important to me and something I love dearly. So this is a Celtic sleeve based on Irish mythology. So you probably can't see it through the camera, but like that there is a salmon, which represents the salmon of knowledge.
Brilliant.
I've got a horse here to represent Lushina Tierna Nog. I've got a bull on the inside of my arm for Dunkirk, so I've got loads there. So yeah, that's probably my favourite.
Very good. No, I love that. It's so cool.
Brilliant, yeah, because I was going to ask, because some people just like the style, others there's more kind of sentimental meaning, but it's cool that you have Irish heritage and that kind of running theme going through it. Myself and Darren were thinking of dabbing now, but I think we're quite indecisive is the only thing.
I'd say Patrick's indecisive.
I'm fairly indecisive, but look, maybe.
I want to get the Celtic scale.
You've got a couple of loose buttons there. I think an old chest tattoo might be the job.
Maybe, I want to get the Celtic Triskel. I really love what it represents. It represents like birth, death, the afterlife. It can also it represents like moving forward onto the afterlife. It's also a symbol which represents our Irish heritage and the Irish language. So there's a few little things.
Bits in there.
So
if you just lose touch with one of those meanings, there's a few other bits. It's not just one thing. Exactly. Yeah.
I think you should do it, man. But just do me a favor. If you do go for it, let me send me a little recording of your reaction to your first tattoo.
Do you think we'd be bad? Do we look like we'd be squeamish there?
Nah, you'd be all right, lads. These are all right. These are good.
No, look,
we'll have to do, wouldn't we?
We'll record a Paddy and Darragh special.
Paddy and Darragh special.
Live
Paddy and Darragh get matching tattoos. Yeah, we got a few little bits, little P&D or something.
Yeah. Very good.
Maybe someday.
Well, that brings us on to our first official segment of the Paddy and Darragh show. We'd like to do it with all our guests. It's where we put everything on the table, right? And we're going to have the one and only hit the title sequence. Yeah, this is called Honesty Hour now, Chris. And we're going to play the theme tune now. And you're going to hear our musical influence here now. This is because we actually sing this for ourselves. We do, yeah. So we're going to play the tune. Play the tune. Honesty is the best policy. Let's hope it doesn't get sour in Honesty Hour. You're not going to be able to hear it right now, though. No, but it would have been there, yeah. You'll hear it in the recording. Okay, so Honesty Hour. Basically, myself and Patrick, well, are going to ask you and the other person a question. We have to answer it completely honest. We'll try and go easy as much as we can.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'll ask a question for you and Paddy to answer, and then vice versa.
So Darragh, kick us off then. Do you want to?
I will kick us off, right?
Yeah.
Bit of a strange one, right?
Is it?
I want you to tell the listeners and viewers about a strange interaction that you have had with the Gardaí.
Right. This one's only recently. So, so obviously COVID lockdowns and everything, you can't move unless it's an essential journey, right? But myself and my fiance, we had to go over to her hometown to pick up some medication because her GP or whatever was over there. So we had to head out. And we had to stop at the garage to get a quick drink before we headed on. And we had just moved to a new area, so we weren't really sure of the direction and routes. So we just used Google Maps like anybody else would. And we came across a Garda checkpoint, and the Garda was like, oh, where he's going. And we're like, oh, we're heading towards Wicklow. We've got to go get some medication. We're not able to get it in the chemist next to us. We have to go there to get it. And he was like, so you're going to Wicklow and you're coming through here? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, no, that doesn't make sense to me. There's something not quite adding up here. And I was like, yeah, that's all right. Don't worry about it. And I was like, I didn't think, like, I didn't mean it. That probably sounded real cheeky to him. But I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. You're all right. And he just looked at me and I was like, oh no. I've done it. And he was like, go on. I was like, nice one.
Phew. Like,
got away with it.
Wiped the bead of sweat.
Nice one, yeah. Well, my one, lads, again happened very recently, actually. And you know what, lads, I really tried to avoid meddling with the law, to be honest.
Myself
boys.
included.
Yeah, I don't go out my way now to
Don't
cause
break the
trouble.
law,
I'm not a
kids.
troublemaker. I really know. I've really committed no crime.
Yeah.
Even stealing wise, I think. Maybe, you know, if I pick a mix, you know, I'll
like
put
7.
things in and maybe throw one in the mouth and then, you know, but that's like the lowest level of, you know,
I
stealing.
don't know about that, Paddy. That could be 7 years for that now.
Oh, I don't know. But, yeah, no, really. No, but like you said yourself, Chris, you know, you can't really go anywhere now, you know, because of COVID restrictions and stuff.
Yeah.
So my one is very simple. It's basically just me and I think maybe 2 other lads, right? We were in town. We went to Stephen's Green. Now we weren't looking for trouble. Now we literally were on a little walk and we had a few little drinks. We stopped off at a quiet spot.
Troublemakers here.
Quiet little spot in Stephen's Green. Right? Just a few friendly drinks, no, nothing major. And next of all, we start hearing a little bit of noise, like somebody coming, and then we just look over, and there's an absolute rave going on over like the head. Mental, and fucking, they're like, literally was like longitude or something. Like, geez, I wonder what time Hojo's coming on. Like, I mean, absolutely crazy. Like, I mean, I was like, oh, but this is mental. But we were sticking to ourselves, nice quiet thing. Listen, you know, leave them at it. Next of all, anyway, I'd say about 5 minutes later, just the Gardaí, we just noticed the kind of the red and blue there flashing kind of behind us, like over kind of the heads, like, so like, look, you know, they'll kind of sort them out, whatever. And next of all, it's just like a stampede of people just like exiting like that section of the park. So we're like, oh, so look, we'll just, you know, we don't want them to coming in to like check. We don't want to just be in Stephen's Green also. We'll just get out. So but we kind of find ourselves in this. We're just trying to get out quick. And we do have a few drinks. We were having a few drinks quietly ourselves, not for a mad session, just for ourselves. I was just walking through, and the Gardaí literally cornered off every corner of Stephen's Green. Like, so there was you couldn't escape without going through them. Jesus. So everyone looked guilty. Like, and I literally just had like a few bottles of unopened drink in a little bag. And literally walking through, and it just snatched off me. Okay, fucking leave that.
No way.
And I just said, no, I'm just gonna leave.
They took it off you?
Took it off me.
No
Full
way.
bag gone. Yeah, there was 5 out of 6 bottles were remaining unopened. Yeah. I was like, I wouldn't take them. I'll go back now. I get that off. And I was like, you know what? I am going to let it slide today. I really am. Like, I don't think it's worth the hassle. But yeah, it just can't be anywhere nowadays.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
think a few quiet drinks.
I'll be honest, lad.
And, yeah.
I seen that last night. I was actually in town last night. I went to myself. We went in for a meal, and it was mental. Stephen's Green got cornered right off, and we drove into town, and like we were going through Wicklow Street, and we just met stampedes, there was people jumping on the car, kicking the car, and I was like, "What is going on?" Like trying to open the doors and everything, and I was like, "Get me out of here! It's mad."
My mate as well was there like the weekend just before that, and they were saying the same, just like going for a walk. I can't remember what street now. It was one of the streets. And
St. William Street.
It might happen to be St. William Street was the one where it all kicked off, and they end up calling like the SWAT team, like and lads like batons against like the shields and all, and fucking knocking lads out.
It's crazy,
it's
like
fucking mad. It's like a real life game of like cat and mouse or cops and robbers or something, like
it's
mad.
What
we're living in, it's bizarre.
I saw TikToks last night again in town. The riot police are called, but I believe
riot police.
They were baton and everyone out of it. It was crazy, like. But like loads of people were just like minding their own business and they were getting clapped and all. Like it was mad scenes. I actually have a little story.
It sounds like a little festival, like you said, like it's like a little mini music festival at the minute. Like.
Yeah, look, I think people are just been cooped up for so long, and now they're just like going crazy.
Natural,
I have a story actually, and it happened at EP. I was only telling someone about this last night.
Yeah,
so,
a good story, actually.
Everyone who knows me knows I'm quite innocent, and I'd be very an innocent looking person. I have a nice little baby face, and I'm short, very unintimidating. But anyway, I was coming into the EP main arena, and you have to get searched for drink and weapons and stuff every time. So I got, the little pat down, all's good, had my little bandana on, my nice florally shirt, was loving the summer vibes. I think we were heading to the 1975. And I'm just walking, right, and next thing, someone just like grabs my arm, and a fella whispers in my ear and he goes, "Okay, don't react too much, but you're going to come with me. My name's Detective Martin O'Buchartig." And he like flashed a Garda badge and he was like, "You're just going to come with me now for a second." And I was like, what the fuck? And next thing, right, he opens up like the little barricades like surrounding the place, and like I'm on like a little country road, and there's like a Garda car and like loads of Gardaí. And they're all standing there like looking at me, and he was like, "Now, we just have a few questions for you." And I was like, okay. And they're like, "We have reason to believe that you're in possession of Class A drugs with intent of selling. We're going to ask you once, is this true? Yes or no?" I was like, no. I was like, I've literally only had one can. Like, I was like, I don't have anything. They're like, "I'm going to ask you again, sir. We're going to ask you one more time. Are you in possession of any Class A drugs?" I was like, absolutely not. And they're all like looking at each other and like rolling their eyes and all. And I was like, "Lads, genuinely, I think you have the wrong person here." And they're like, "So if you're telling me if I strip you down into your jocks right now, you have absolutely nothing on you, because we're going to strip you and have a look and make sure you're not smuggling." And I was like, no, like, fucking go ahead, like, strip me, like, search me.
No, I don't have them, I sold them all.
Yeah, it's all gone, made a fortune. But yeah, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna strip you now, is that okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, like, I have nothing on me." And then they're like, "Okay, go on, so." And just push me back in. I was like, what the hell?
And we were all going on as well, weren't we?
They didn't have a clue.
I know obviously we're sound, but like still.
Yeah, I was shitting it. But I think there must have been a tip off or someone or something about like, short lads wearing a bandana, because I remember looking back and they were letting everyone go through, and then another fella came in with the same colour bandana as me, and he was pulled aside as well, and he had the same. I had my hair like up in a quiff. And I was like, maybe they had like a detailed description of someone or something like that. But yeah, that was a crazy one. I remember just going to the lads. I was like, "Lads, I just got fucking pulled aside by the Gardaí, nearly strip searched for drugs." Like, but you look.
I hope he took you to dinner after at least, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I remember that happening, but that was bizarre. Yeah. No, my one, lads, now, it's simple enough, right? And I'm thinking now myself, because I know you answered your own there. I'm thinking, do I have an answer for this? I probably don't. But I'm just going to see if you have one. Because obviously, you've both done a bit of performing, do a few different gigs and shows and bits, And obviously, I'm sure the majority of it, you're more than happy to do. Do you mean like it would be a privilege or an honour to do? I want to know, is there any particular like that gig or show or anything that you've been asked to do that you just really like? Maybe you did it, but you really just did not want to. You're like, I really would rather not do this, but I'll do it anyway. Because those kind of it's
I mean, those sort of gigs are really when you're like starting off, like they're the ones like on the back of a trailer. when it's snowing outside and you're freezing, like those kind of ones. But no, to be honest, lads, like I'm terrible. I love gigging. Like I absolutely love it. Like,
you're in the right profession, so then, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just love it. I love playing shows and everything. So, I mean, even if it is as I said, like there's one or two outdoor gigs and you see it's lashing rain or something like that, and you're like, oh my god, like there's gonna be nobody there. But I just tend to like try and make the best of it. So on. So to be honest, I don't really have any. To be fair, like.
And would you say that gigging is kind of your favorite part of the job? Is that what you look to the most?
It is without a doubt the best bit of the job, hands down. Like, lads, there is nothing better than playing a gig and just you hear that kick drum starting to pump, you hear like the guitar starting to play, and you just get that, you start to feel that rumble from a crowd and people screaming. And as you see it going on, you see people starting to jump and enjoy themselves, and you're like, this is the best job in the world. Like gigging.
Like in regards to the whole pandemic thing, I mean, that must have been the bit you were missing the most. Would you say there's any kind of positives to go with, like musically as well? Like obviously you're missing the gigging, but would you say maybe made you appreciate it more? Or, like, what would you say came from it, positively?
It's been great for the creative side of things. Like it's been great for writing. It's been great for sitting there and kind of thinking of ideas and so on. But look, the truth of it is that, like, yeah, you get into studio record, but music, it comes to, especially my style of music, with what it is, with that Irish trad pop mix. It comes to life at live gigs. And like the truth of it is, without live gigs and without shows, like you're missing so much. Like you know yourself, lads, you've been to music festivals, you've listened to a song on the radio and you love it and it's great. But if you're in a field or you're at a festival or you're at a gig and like it's being played in front of you and you can feel the energy from everybody, nothing touches that. Like nothing even comes close.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely been agree with you there. Now, would you have anything at all now, or even if it's not musically, but anything that you've been asked to do? I just don't want to do that.
Just don't want to do that.
Just don't want to do that.
After work, we were supposed to do a podcast there on Monday, and I was very tired for it. And I was having none of it.
It didn't happen then.
Yeah, it got cancelled last second. No, I'm on placement at the moment in the hospital, and I just had a really bad day, and I was extremely tired, and I was actually drinking cans on a beach till late the night before, and I was hungover, and I completely forgot that the podcast was to be recorded, and I was like, I don't have my hard drive, I don't have nice clothes. I was like, oh lads, so I was really not feeling it at all. Have you
been working in the hospital throughout the pandemic?
No. I was well, yes and no. I did my first placement when the first week of COVID. We had the first COVID patient in our hospital, and it was the whole like, oh, what the hell is this? And what does this mean? And where's the PPE? And we had no masks, and it was crazy. But I got to my placement finished up actually just before things went kind of crazy. And then my placement started again, just when numbers were really low and we were all let out again. So I've been very lucky. It's just coincidental that the timing of my placements has always been at the bottom of the curve. Now, the people in the year above me, unfortunately for them, they've always been at the peak, and they had an awful time, very stressful.
I think, you know what, dude, like, regardless whether, like, the truth of it is, like, regardless whether it's, like, obviously you want everybody to be safe, and like regardless whether it's at the peak, at the tail end or whatever, you're still putting yourself at risk, you know what I mean? So credit, man, fair play, like a lot of respect for that one.
We appreciate that. But look, you enjoy it. It's like, you know, you love gigging, I love gigging too. but I also love being a student radiographer and dealing with patients. So
absolutely.
I think that brings us on to our next game.
Nice.
I like this one, Chris. I like this one. Obviously, just again on music, on gigging. This is kind of a musical game. It's a little musical game. Now we're going to whip out our little instruments.
Don't be alarmed.
It's going to whip out. Don't worry, we're going to keep it PG now. Don't worry, sitting. These are little fellas here now. Right, we have. I thought I took a red one.
We have a nice Yamaha.
Oh, hang on, I do.
10 grand worth piece of instrument.
Lad.
The Kazoo.
I might can market one of them myself.
They're brilliant.
They're fabulous stuff. A brilliant instrument. You know, fit in the pocket, handy stuff.
Harder than you think to master.
We were practicing earlier on. I was struggling to hit the high notes on them, but I think I got there now.
He was blowing it and it flew and hit me in the head and all. So what we're going to do is myself and Patrick have picked 3 songs. We're going to play them on the kazoo, and we're going to see how many you can guess.
Test your music knowledge, Chris.
All right.
Okay.
How well do you know classic tunes? Right.
Okay, you ready?
Right. Kick us off. What's your
I'll
first
kick us
one?
off. Okay. Oh, jeez, I need to compose myself.
No, you got this. You got this, man.
Okay.
No, do you need like a key, like a?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll actually use that key.
Use that key. So good man. Yeah.
So first one, tune number 1. Okay.
Right, I'm ready.
You got it.
Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody. Queen.
Good
It
man.
has to be. And obviously, like you said, gigging with the lads. Yeah. Well, what was that? Was that a support gig you did with Queen or festival or?
It was actually during X Factor, and
deadly.
it was unreal.
Adam Lambert, was it?
Yeah, well, Adam Lambert and the rest of the lads from Queen,
That's
Spike,
deadly, yeah.
and Brian May, and I
Super
just
cool.
like remember standing on stage and looking to my left and I seen Brian May there with a guitar, and I was
Isn't it?
Same hair.
same. No, because I had a skinhead at the time. and it was,
Oh yeah.
They couldn't even relate, man. That's terrible.
I think he would have appreciated the hair.
It was locks or his guitar, and I was like, ah.
Terrible. All right.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna do one. Right. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't go too close to the mic.
Shallows, Lady Gaga, Alicia the Shallows.
That's the one. Good
Well
man.
done.
Shut it right.
There's a lot of passion in that one,
There
Paddy.
was.
Yeah.
There was. There always is. There always is.
Okay, my next one, alright.
Uptown Girl, Billy Joel.
Hey! Good man.
Has he
You're
got it right?
good at this, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My next one. I was struggling with this earlier, but I'm gonna try my best.
Yeah, okay. Big octave leap.
Yes, there is. Hang on now.
I'm lost, bro. I'm not gonna
Oh, no idea at all. I need it.
That was
Don't hop in. We do it together. It might work. With,
Ah,
No, you
no,
don't,
oh
okay.
my God. That was Tiny Dancer by
it's
Elton John.
supposed to be tiny.
I know. Dude.
Okay,
You're lost.
my next one.
ABBA, Dancing Queen.
Well done.
You got it. All right. And your very last one, Chris. Now I don't think
Ready.
you know this one, but you might. We'll try it. Okay.
I'm ready.
Don't go too close.
Kissing Cali, Chris Leonard.
Any ideas, Chris?
Kissing Cali, Chris Leonard.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Banging tune.
Great
of
tune
course.
indeed. Well done, yeah, class.
Good
That
man.
was a full house bar Tiny Dancer.
Yeah.
But
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
it could have been Paddy's kazoo playing now. Who knows?
Probably
Who knows?
was. Probably was.
Okay, so that brings us to, unfortunately, our final segment of the show. We do it every week without
Every week
fail,
without fail.
except for the weeks we don't do
Yeah,
it.
some weeks you don't do it, but most, yeah.
It's where we put everything on the table. It's where we discuss what's negative, what's positive, and the weekly whimsicalness that occurs in our weekly
Well, that's
life.
exactly it now. Now, will we sing it or will we do a bit of kazoo? A bit of both.
Will we do kazoo?
Do kazoo.
You alright, hey?
No, a bit of both. I know,
Oh,
kazoo. We'll do
oh,
kazoo. Okay, ready?
Big breath in.
It doesn't really work, yeah.
Yeah.
Just okay, okay.
Just for the crack.
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay. That's no.
Can't even do it,
I
no,
can't.
no.
Right, let's try it now.
Alright,
Right,
ready?
Lads, it's time for the slate. It's the weekly review.
Okay, so the weekly review. We're going to start with the slate. The
Yes.
slate is where we put the things that are negative. Something that just during the week it's been pissing you off
Needs
and
to
you just want to get
put
it
it
off
on.
your chest.
Put on the slate.
Chris,
Nice.
what's been bugging you this week?
What's been bugging me this week? Oh, I don't know. everything's going sound like.
That's not too
What's
bad.
bugging me this week? Oh yeah, do you know what's bugging me? Is queues, because there's queues everywhere,
Oh,
and
stop.
it's understandable. But like, if I had to pick anything, look, I'm nitpicking there because everything's been sound. The queues, yeah, a lot of queues at the minute, man.
Especially queues for the bathroom.
Yeah,
It's not a
queues
fun
for the
time.
bathroom, queues for a pint, loads, there's loads of queues. Man.
It's not ideal, man. Not ideal.
Paddy?
Darragh.
Oh,
Which one you go?
I'll go
take it,
first,
go on.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put just hangovers on
Fair
the
enough.
slate. I think they're, you know, like, why should we be penalised for having a good night? Like,
Yeah.
you know, what's the point? Come on,
Yeah.
buddy, just deal with the alcohol toxins, right? I know, to be fair, I'm fairly good with the old hangovers, but I've recently learned that when I drink rum, I always wake up with an absolute banging headache the next morning. And I woke up with a fairly bad headache this morning now. I was on the mojitos last night.
There we go.
But,
Mojitos.
they were delicious, refreshing, and I don't regret it at all.
Rum's a dangerous one. Man. I remember one of the first times I was drinking rum, like when it was at that age, like, you know, in Ireland, the way like your parents like, yeah, go on, like you can have a few drinks and like that. So, and I remember like it was when I had only started like having a couple of drinks and everything like that, and I played drinking roulette with my mates, and I thought it was deadly. I was throwing mad bets in, and I literally had a nagging down in about like 5-10 minutes.
Oh,
and I swear to God, like, it was the worst experience of my life. Like, I ended up passing out on the bathroom floor and everything. So that's something to be experienced.
If you smell rum now, do you just get like flashbacks and a bit of
Lads, PTSD to the max.
And like, was it a Captain Morgan's vibe now, or was it like?
It was a Captain Morgan's. Yeah. It's always a Captain Morgan's.
And you know, it's so.
All right, Captain.
It goes down too easy. The Captain Morgan's, you know, it just has that little kind of a sweetness, and it just, you know, it goes wrong quickly.
It's such a sabotaging drink.
Yeah, brutal. I'll tell you what I'm putting on the slate, lads. I'm just going to put. I'm putting the pace at which we're moving through. The boys being in the 20s being vaccinated, right? I feel it's taken a while. Just the overall thing of it, like, you know, because I'm looking at other countries and even the likes of Belfast, it looks like they're in full swing. Places are back open, hopping, there's vibes. I mean, like we talked about earlier on, being stopped by the Gardaí. I feel like just that kind of stuff, you know, shouldn't really be happening. Maybe if certain things were dealt with like a little bit better. You know, young people being vaccinated earlier, being like the human nature element of it, that they are the category that are going to socialise the most. So just that kind of stuff. I think if you're sped up with the vaccines, even if places were open, that we had a safe place to go and socialise, that was monitored, there wouldn't be, you know, riots in Stephen's Green in town. So just the vaccination thing and just the pace at which we're going about to open up restrictions.
Well, tomorrow we have opening of outdoor
we're getting
beer
there.
gardens.
We're getting there.
I'd say it won't be as crazy.
Probably not. Hopefully not.
Because people will be there instead. So that brings us on to good vibrations. So a nice little jingly thing plays in the background.
It's very nice tempo.
But yeah, basically something that's looking optimistic. It's giving you good vibes, and it's just giving you hope.
I've got to be honest. Yeah, do you know what? Nice handy one, lads. The weather that we've had for the last like week and a bit has been insane. I'm getting abundant amount of vitamin D, and so it's making me happy and good. And I'll be honest, I'm in Cork at the minute, and I was walking through Cork, and it was so nice to see so many people out in the sun, like being sensible with everything, obviously, you know what I mean, but so many people out enjoying themselves, and it's just like it's a sniff of normality and people being able to just be themselves again. So that's my positive slant. It's class. It's great to see.
Great,
definitely in agreement.
I think we just had someone trying to phone into the show there.
I heard that, well, we haven't started phoning yet now, but we might from next week, hopefully.
Do we have another live guest?
We have a guest coming in,
Bombshell. Paddy, what's showing you good vibrations?
Tell you what's showing me good vibrations, lads. It's a nice, wholesome one, and it's just friends. It's just having good pals. Not the show, although that too, the reunion. Boys, that was great. Crack. I love that. We're big friends people's here now, so we love the Friends reunion. But friends in the broad sense, lads, having a good, you know, there was a small gathering there now. It was safe measures now, but just a few people now in one of the boys' houses. And I just think you know, when you have a good group of people around you and you're comfortable, you know, when you're a bit drunk and you like a few of the boys lying on the couch, that's all right. The others up dancing, little turnover. You know, just when you have a good group of people around you, it gets you through the time. So I mean, obviously people like we've been online for so long, those Zoom calling mates. It's just starting to see a few people now, you know, one on one out and about different places. There's nothing like catching up with people in real time, being there with your friends in person, you know. So
you know, it's funny. I feel like during the whole online Zooming thing, I nearly felt like even though I'm an extrovert, I found small social interactions more socially draining because we weren't seeing anybody. Do you know, just meeting up with one person for a walk. Nearly afterwards, you're like, oh, I have no like social battery left, but. It's good to recharge them back again.
The world is going to be a mental place. Like, it's going to be like, I'm one of these people that likes to like sit back in a room and just watch what's going on. And like, I'm going to get such a laugh and a kick from watching everybody trying to socialize again. Like, it'll feel like the first time. It'll be like, what's happening?
Yeah, honestly, everyone trying to get with each other as well because nobody's been to nightclubs in fucking a year and a half.
It could go one or two ways though. No, I don't reckon that'll be long come back now. I think there's a human nature there.
Yeah, oh God,
no. Not be
I'd say we'll have a baby boomer fucking period as well.
People will only be there if they want to be.
What's showing me good vibrations? Barbecue meats, okay? Everything just tastes better on the barbecue. Like you were saying, Chris, the weather was cracker. I literally had a barbecue, I think 4 days in a row. But everything just tastes better. Steak, chicken wings, pork, fucking every vegetable you can think of. Throw it on the barbecue, tastes better. Corn on the cob,
barbecue's my favorite, man.
Butter.
It's the best.
And you know what's actually unreal on the barbecue? And I never would have thought this in a million years, but my uncle was barbecuing cod.
Oh, and I was just going to talk to say. Oh, I thought you were just going to say you barbecued your uncle.
My uncle was delicious. We're cannibals. Did we not mention Chris? Actually, that's hilarious because my second name is Bacon as well. So my uncle's barbecued. But just barbecued foods in general taste better.
Man, you're not wrong.
Definitely.
Absolutely not wrong. Final part of the weekly review is, of course, the weekly whimsy. Now, this is just something a little bit funny or comical. It may have happened to you. Could be an experience you had. Something that you saw. Something that just, you know what, that's nice and lightweight to kind of wrap up the week. You know, something funny, yeah. Anything come to mind, Chris?
Something funny that I saw. Oh, my days.
Could be a TikTok.
Could even be a TikTok. Now, do you know what, lads? Nothing's coming to mind, but let me chew on it. Give me your two and see if you strike any inspiration in me. I'm gonna have
no worries. Yeah, well, Darragh, you give me yours and see if you can give me inspiration for mine.
So my weekly whimsy is kind of technically it happened the week before, but you know what, right? Usually every year we get together to watch the Eurovision and we play a drinking game out of it, us and our friends. Like, you know, take a shot every time someone's wearing a bizarre outfit. So that's like you're drunk after the third act. Take a shot every time, you know, one of the TV presenters is really cringy, you know, stuff like that. It's great fun. But I didn't actually watch the final this year, but me and my girlfriend caught one of the semi-finals, and Ukraine's entry were fucking sick. They were so good, and like the song was just so bizarre, but do you know what? I absolutely love it. I think I've listened to it every day. It was just so Ukrainian in every single way. It was in Ukrainian. She's singing it in like do you know, I'd actually kind of nearly compare it with Shanos in the way that it's like a nasal kind of way of singing. But it's bizarre. It's very Eurovision-y, and I just think it's a proper bop. And we had it playing at a barbecue there the other day, and everyone was fucking headbanging to it. Also, Main Skin were cool as well, who won, and they were cool guys.
Pretty good. Yeah. So, no, boys, whimsy for me is just the magic you can make with a little cocktail maker. So I mean, I enjoy a cocktail now. I haven't actually delved into making them properly. Yeah. But I've just kind of been dabbling in what's been in the kitchen. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, a few kind of shots of vodka, might be a little bit of, I think there was a pink lemonade Lucasade thing that we just, you know, gave a little bit of that. A little bit of orange. Now, listen, you wouldn't think it.
That doesn't sound nice.
A little bit of orange juice and a bit of lime, lads. So, I mean, you shook it up now, a little taste. It was just a little bit weak, so put a bit more vodka in. But
gee.
it really tasted all right now. So
Yeah.
having a bit of fun with that, and it's a bit of a laugh. Kind of make a few cocktails now. But I must get it because I do actually have a little cocktail maker now. The full.
Yeah,
you give a little bit of that now. So
Yeah,
I should look into
shade.
proper recipes now. Do you know what I mean?
I have a few.
Get
I can-
exquisite. Yeah, pass them on there.
I'm a man for the old
exquisite with them.
cocktails myself now.
Absolutely.
Chris.
Nice.
Absolutely.
I'll probably, lads, to be honest, right? The only thing that I can think of that's coming to my head is that, which was a very strange experience for me. I seen the old man play Bop It for the first time this week, and it was weird as that because he started playing Bop It. So you remember like Bop It, Twist It,
Yeah.
Pull It. Yeah. He was playing that, right? And my dad's like this little short man. He's got very short arms and everything, and he's playing Bop It, and he started getting this little wiggle as he was playing it because like obviously in the Bop It game, right? There's like a little song, and it's like.
Yeah.
And there's like a little drum
Yeah.
behind it. And I was watching him play, and he started getting this little wiggle. He was like bopping, and he was like slapping. I was like,
That's
what is
good.
happening? That's probably the weirdest thing and the funniest thing for me this
Oh,
week.
Do you know what you should do, Chris?
Absolutely.
You should sample the Bop It, right? And fucking make a song out of it.
Right, so-
Everyone will be
Yeah.
grooving.
Exactly. Throw them on TikTok.
That would sell really well. It's a great
Come
idea,
on, Chris,
man.
if you don't do it, me and Paddy will.
We'll do it.
If you do, we want some royalties. Look, that brings us to the end of our show. You've been a great guest. Just before we wrap things up, do you want to tell us a little bit about your new single and what's to come in the world of Chris and his music?
Yeah, so my brand new single is out at the minute. It's called Fix. You can get it on all musical platforms: Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, and you can find all my social medias, Instagram, everything. So my Instagram is Chris Leonard official _. And if you just check out my bio, you'll see my link tree, and that will take you to everything else. But Fix is my second single after Kiss and Tally, and it's a kind of a pop. It's pop mixed with Irish trad, but with modern melodies and lyrics, just to kind of bring it to today's day and age, you know what I mean? Because I love our Irish sound, and it's what we're known for all over the world, along with a couple of other things. So, I'm delighted it's out. It's been fantastic, and the reception has been great, and people have been extremely supportive. Spain, Southwest have played it, RTE. So I'm over the moon, lads. So yeah, check it out. Anybody who's Spotify or iTunes, Fix.
That is tough, man, and hopefully we'll get to see you perform live now sometime soon as well.
For sure.
Front row there, giving it loads.
Yeah,
So,
we'll be
I'm expecting to see you, boys.
We'll be there with our kazoos.
Yeah.
Singing along after you.
We can be your
100%,
support
man.
act.
Yeah, but listen, why not? Well, lovely stuff, man. Not just about. We might actually play Fix, actually, will we? Just
Yeah, if it's all right with you,
Yeah.
Chris, we might stick it at the end.
I would love that, lads. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
100%,
Brilliant. Well, look,
100%.
everybody make sure you give Chris some support. Follow him on the social medias, listen to the song, stream it, buy it on iTunes if you
100%
like it. Actually, even if you don't like it, buy it anyway. Support him. Do you know what I mean? It's a great song.
Yeah. You won't not like it. You won't hate it anyway.
Definitely
No,
not.
you shouldn't hate it.
No,
You
it's
shouldn't hate
great.
it, yeah.
No, it will put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
It
It's
will.
feel
It
good
actually,
Feel
it's
good.
very feel good
good,
song.
100%.
Look, Chris, you've been great. Thanks so much for coming on, especially in your Holly Bops. We really
Yes.
enjoyed the chat.
Really
No.
appreciate
It was great chatting with you. And guys, if you're enjoying the Paddy and Darragh show, make sure that you like, subscribe, that you give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, and you share the word with your friends.
That's exactly it, lads. That's it from us.
Always a pleasure.
Always a treat. And here to sing us out with his brand new hit single, it's Chris Leonard with Fix. We'll see you next week,
See you
lads.
guys.
Take care.
I notice everything you do. I think about you always too. I love the ground you walk on when you ride shotgun in my car. I hang on every word you say. When you kiss me, girl, it makes my day. Your love is so addictive, and I'm a victim. I need my fix. Yeah. You reach my soul. I lose control. You're taking me higher. I wanna hold you close underneath the beams of moonlight. This I know. I wanna kiss you under the stars at midnight, falling deeper. I need you here, so stay. Here to stay. Oh, now. just keep it, don't let it out now. You reach my soul, I lose control. You're taking me higher. I wanna hold you close underneath the beams of moonlight. This I know. I wanna kiss you under the stars at midnight. Holding deeper, I need you here to stay. Here to stay. Woo! You reach my soul, I lose control. You're taking me higher and higher, higher. I wanna